Thank you for watching Murder, Monsters, and Mysteries. Tonight we take a look at a mystery that goes back hundreds of years. The Green Children of Woolpit. The medieval legend from England of visitors from another world. The story of the Green Children of Woolpit has caused debate over 8 centuries. Many people still believe that these children were those who accidentally arrived on Earth from another planet. The 12th century story of the Green Children of Woolpit in Suffolk, UK, is a fascinating folk story that has been talked about for generations. Not every day do we hear of children with green skin that are not able to speak the local language appearing at the edge of a field. The tale of the Green Children of Woolpit is still the subject to debate with historians as to its origin, many even claiming that the story describes an extraterrestrial encounter. The legend describes the Green Children of Woolpit as being a young brother and sister. They were spotted by reapers who were working in the fields near some ditches that had been excavated to trap wolves at St. Mary's of the Wolf Pits, hence the name Woolpit. The reapers were astonished when they came upon the children. Their skin was green and their clothes appeared to be made of materials unlike anything that had been seen before. Their speech was also unrecognizable to them. The reapers took the children back to the village, where they would eventually be taken into the home of Sir Richard de Cain, a local landowner in Wilts. It is detailed that the children would not eat any food that was offered to them, even though from the outside it would appear they were starving. Some of the villagers finally brought round some recently harvested beans. The children devoured these. The story says that they survived on nothing more than beans for several months, until they acquired a taste for bread. The boy became sick and quickly died because of his illness, while the girl remained in good health, and was reported to eventually lose the green tinge to her skin. As the years passed, she learned to speak English and would later go on to marry a man in King's Lynn, Norfolk. Some ancient accounts say that she took the name Agnes Barr, and that the man whom she married was an ambassador of Henry II. However, these details have never been verified. Once she learned the English language, she is said to have relayed the story of their origins. The girl explained how she and her brother came from a land underground, which she called the Land of St. Martin. In it, there was no sun, but perpetual twilight. She described how all of the inhabitants of St. Martin's lived beneath the surface and were all green, just like them. She described another luminous land that could be seen across a river. She explained that her and her brother were caring for their father's flock when they discovered a cave. Upon entering the cave, the 2 children walked through the darkness for a long period, following the sound of bells. When they came out of the other side, they were met with bright sunlight, which they found startling. It was at this point they were found by the reapers. The tale of the Green Children of Woolpit is set in the rural village of Woolpit, which is located in Suffolk, East Anglia, England. During the Middle Ages, this area was the most agriculturally productive and densely populated area in rural England. The village was owned by the powerful Abbey of Bury St. Edmunds. The original story of the Green Children of Woolpit was recorded on 2 separate contemporary chronicles. Ralph of Coggeshall, who was an English chronicler who died around 1228 AD, was an abbot of the Cistercian monastery at Coggeshall, which was approximately 26 miles south of Woolpit. His account was detailed in the Chronicon Anglicanum, and in it, he named Sir Richard de Cain, who took the children in, as his source. William of Newburgh, who lived from 1136 to 1198 AD, was the English historian and canon at the Augustinian Newbury Prior in Yorkshire. He included the story of the Green Children of Woolpit in his work, Historia Rerum Anglicarium, History of English Affairs. Both of the writers described how the events took place within the reign of King Stephen, 1135 to 1154, or King Henry II, 1154 to 1189, depending on which version of the story you read. For centuries, many different theories have been argued in an attempt to explain the fascinating story of the green children of Woolpit. Regarding the green color of their skin, one suggestion is that the children had a condition known as hyperchromic anemia, originally known as chlorosis, coming from the Greek word meaning greenish yellow. Chlorosis is normally caused by a poor diet and affects the color of the red blood cells, often resulting in a green shade to the skin. Many people believe that this theory is backed up by the fact the girl is described as returning to a normal color after being on a healthy diet. Paul Harris suggested in 14 Studies 4, 1998, that given the girl's description of the strange land, the children could have been Flemish orphans, potentially from a nearby place known as Fornhan St. Martin, which was separated from Woolpit by the river Lark. Many Flemish immigrants came over during the 12th century. However, many were persecuted during the reign of Henry II. In 1173, many of them were killed near Bury St. Edmunds. Some investigators believe that if the green children of Woolpit were in fact Flemish immigrants on the run, and if they had fled into Thetford Forest, it may have seemed like a permanent twilight to the terrified children. It is also possible that they may have entered into one of the many underground mine passages in the area, before eventually being led to Woolpit. The local villagers at the time would have certainly thought it strange if two children wearing Flemish clothing while speaking a foreign language arrived in their locality. Many other researchers over the years have claimed that the children likely came from another world. Robert Burton suggested in his 1621 book, The Anatomy of Melancholy, that the green children of Woolpit fell from heaven. This led many to speculate that they were of alien origins. In 1966, an astronomer by the name of Duncan Lunan published an article in the magazine Analog, where he hypothesized that the children were being transported to Woolpit accidentally from their extraterrestrial home planet, which might have been trapped in synchronous orbit around its sun, presenting the conditions for life only in narrow twilight zone between a fiercely hot surface and a frozen dark side. He included these claims again in his 2012 book, Children from the Sky. Since being recorded, the story of the green children of Woolpit has been a source of debate for 8 centuries. We may never know the exact facts behind the tale. However, the story has been the inspiration for many novels, poems, operas, and plays all across the world. Well, guys, what do you think? Did this really happen? Were the children of Woolpit real? Did they exist? If so, where did they come from? If you enjoyed this mystery, please be sure to like and subscribe as we'll be uploading videos regularly.